Hey, it's Coach D. I got off a client call this morning and she wrote me a message afterwards and shared something with me. I said, that is absolute gold. And I was smiling ear to ear and I said, can I share this in a post? And she said, yes. But what she didn't know is I thought I would do a different kind of client story post. I'm going to do a video post because I want you to hear how big of a deal this really is, to help people understand that those little things that we do all the time and often overlook are the big things that help us get ahead or hold us back. So in this client's case, this was a massive positive change in from where she was a couple years ago when we started working together and where she is now. And we know that she's made leaps and bounds from where she was. Not that where she was bad. It's just that it was that information overload, right? And that trying to do too many things at once. And we've really worked on the all or nothing mentality, shoulding, and overthinking, overanalyzing, that kind of thing. And again, she's made massive change in her mindset, which she's spoken to me about as well. But this was big, and this was something that speaks to the ability, or in most of our cases today, the inability to say no and the impact it has on our health. So let me share what my client wrote me. So after we got off our call, she said, I had a big moment of self-reflection on MS Teams. She's working from home again today. And she shared with me what it was. She said she declined an invitation to a non-mandatory work event in Kingston. So from wherever you're watching, we're in the Quinte area. Kingston's about an hour east of us. Her husband didn't want to go. She said none of my team was going. And I realized I didn't really want to go either, she said. Then she said, I felt guilty. My friend was going, and I should have offered to go and keep her company. This morning, her friend messaged and said she changed her response to decline as well. So my client was relieved. And she said she'd been worrying, but she'd been worrying about her friend. And so she told her friend, this was me saying no to things that are not required and don't serve my health. And it was like slow clap moment, like poetry is what that is. And I'm not even exaggerating. I've had conversations with clients in the last few months, retired clients who come in and they're just beside themselves going, I got to go to this party and I don't want to go, or I got to go to this event and I don't want to go. And did you ever consider saying no? And when we step back to think about this, and we think, okay, in these situations, parties, events, in this case, a non-mandatory work event, okay, something that we don't want and that won't serve us. We live once. And I know we sometimes want to avoid that reality. We have one shot at life. And the modern way of doing things, of going through this one shot at life, is to please everyone else and do what everyone else says or what everyone else wants us to do. And then we wonder why we're exhausted. We're not feeling healthy. We're not living the life we want. We're getting brain fog all the time. We're not sleeping well. We're not serving ourselves. We're not putting ourselves first. This client and I have worked on over the last couple of years chatting about moving away from the all or nothing mentality, the shoulding, which is why she did the shoulding. Very proud of that. And the overthinking, overanalyzing. And she's made massive change in that regard. And what I've noticed in our conversation today, in the last little while, she's picking things out. And that's a new practice for her. And in this case, she's picked out the reality of the situation. She's going, hey, I don't want to go, so I'm not going to go because it doesn't serve me and it's not going to serve my health. But also she's picking out the fact that her immediate thought when she canceled was her friend. Now, what I'm going to add into the equation is my client is an adult and her friend is an adult. So my client, as an adult, made a decision for herself, because we all grow up going, can't wait till I'm an adult and I can do whatever I want. My client did that. So guess what? We don't need to put our energy into our client, into our friend, because that friend is also an adult who can make his or her own decisions because they grew up and became an adult who can do so. We need to stop spreading our energy thin and save some for ourselves. And in these situations, this is a massive boost to my clients' week, day, everything. You think about this too. This is not an isolated thing, right? When we think about if my client would have said yes because she felt that she had to for her friend or for her work or whatever, this event, I'm assuming, is probably at least half a day, if not a full work day. Then add 2 hours travel minimum on top of that, going there and coming back. Add the stress of driving on the 401 on a regular day. Add all of that. Then add the drain on the emotional, mental, and spiritual side of her health. Because all day long, she's going to be going, I could have been doing something else. I don't really care what's happening right now. I would rather be home or doing work or whatever. Something is serving me. This client made a big decision in a very positive way for herself by putting herself first. And I had to share that in this way because I can't emphasize enough that that is a barrier that is holding so many people that I see back. We keep trying to please everyone and everything else but ourselves, and that is impossible. And all we're doing is making ourselves less healthy, more drained, and more stressed. So please watch this story again. Take into account what my client just realized she was doing and the choice that she made for herself. That is what's going to serve our health.